This is kind of an old school way of dressing your grills. I normally just use a bench grinder to do all of this. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at Justin's 394xp. He had traded for a while back, so he got it out and cut with it, so that just wasn't logwoods worthy yet. Bring it to me to go over. I think we're going to do some performance work to it as well once we get the bugs worked out of it, but kind of what we're going to do today is just have a look at it. If it's just cold sitting here, compression feels good, but after you have started the saw and ran it, I feel the compression kind of goes down on it. And I've not had it in a piece of wood today, and that's kind of what we're going to do in this video, is see if we can get his bar and chain lined out. Get the saw out and run it in some wood and just see how it's acting. I have bench ran the saw a couple times. The low jet was a little off on it. I had to back it out a little, but it's still just kind of acts like something's not right. Could just be fuel line carb related, but you can kind of see the saw's kind of tired looking. Somebody's made a lot of money with this saw, is what I told him when I picked it up. The front end of the bars burn up. Maybe I can zoom in on that, where somebody's been bore cutting with it, and I might have to even come in closer in a little bit, but the bar needs dressed in a bad way, and I think that chain's been ground, because it's, or either, I don't know, somebody had a funky style of filing the chain, but the hook or whatever, it comes way back under there. It don't feel completely dull. It's got a pretty aggressive beak on it. It may just be, as he said, that it just seemed dull, but could just be the bar needing dressed. But we'll throw a grind on it and check the drags and everything. But chain brake's just kind of there. It doesn't function. It's missing, I think, one of the clips on the back. Missing a clip on the side. We may have to locate one of those. And somebody's put handle inserts in it that I ain't even for sure or for that saw. I just bought some and put in a 257 handle. They kind of damn about looked identical to those. The ones that come for these saws usually have adhesive that glues them in. I could be wrong, but I ain't 100% sure it's the correct inserts for that, but I think I can work with them a little bit and get them to fit a little better, because right now it would just get on my nerves, and I'm sure it would anyone's using it too. And if you're limbing with that thing or in any brush at all, that's just not going to last long at all. So we'll address that. I think we can make what's there work just fine, but I can't even get the damn thing to go back in. But yeah, that would get annoying, and he's missing the interlocks, that he really wasn't too concerned with that, but I may look around and see if I have one. Looks like part of the old one's in there, and it just drives out with a roll pin. If not, we can get one, but I probably have one laying here somewhere, but at least just get one back in there, whether it's damn functional or not, just to cover that hole up. Because I can see chips getting in there and causing an issue here. I've ran them that way without the interlock, but in the log woods using the saw every day. You know, I don't know. But anyway, guys, I think the first thing I'm gonna do is probably spin it back around and get this bar and chain off, and we'll go from there. Alright, let's see what we got. Dang, guys, there's no need in bar nuts being that tight. And I lift. I'm a pretty big guy. When I say I lift, I mean I lift weights. I'm not a weak one. You can see that scrunch bending. No need in your bar nuts being that tight. I'm sure it was that way when he picked the saw up. Yeah. I've had a few 394s, 395s here on the channel. I've got a 395 clone over there I've not ran since this time last year. That means I really need it, doesn't it? I might have to get that one out and make a channel debut. When I done it, the way I build it, it's one of those that has too much compression in my opinion. It just started really cutting a lot out of squish bands and bases at that time, and I got carried away on a few and ended up having to go back in and raise a few exhaust roofs because yeah, compression was just too much. My 395's that way. It was at 255 before it ever even had a ring seat. I've honestly probably not ran that saw enough to seat the rings. Get this chain off. I'm sure my shoulder and my arm was a real nice view. Man, that thing's been running dull and stretched. Just wow, drive links are so loose. The camera says weird focus, but there's what that cutter looks like. It's really not that bad. That would cut, that would pull a chip, but it has one hell of a hook in it. I don't know. I'm guessing the bar, and who knows if the drag's on it, or I better be proper and say depth gauges. Someone will call me out on that. You'd be surprised, like really. Evidently rakers or drags is not the proper term. They're depth gauges. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, get that a lot. But this camera is pretty good at focusing. Maybe you can see the burr all the way down it. Look here. Wow, that one will cut you. It actually had a burr sticking up. The bar tip could use a little grease. We'll have to see about that. Boy, she's smoked out on the end. That bar's not got a lot of life left in it. Look, I can pinch that in and out. That's not a that is a replaceable tip bar. Well, check that out. We may have to see if we can beat on those rivets a little bit. Looks like the rivet over here is about out of it. You may have to look into maybe getting a bar eventually, but that thing, she has seen better days. Like I'd said, either somebody is just really, really rough on this thing, or this thing's made someone a lot of money. Yeah, that's where we're at right now, but what I want to do is see if I can get the chain looking a little better and get it where I think it'll cut good. I'll see about that tip. I've honestly never changed the tip out in a bar. It's as simple, I think, as pressing the rivets out. This is kind of an old school way of dressing your rails. Usually I use a bench grinder. You can buy a bar dresser. Just kind of slides down over, you adjust it, and it'll clean them right up. You can buy a squeezer that squeezes them back in, but for what we're doing here, this will be just fine. And I'll get it to where the chain will bite and be able to pull through. If you want to check the top rut of the grills, these actually ain't real bad. I normally just use a bench grinder to do all of this, but I pulled mine out of this shop because it was kind of vibrating everything off of the walls. But I think we've got that one where it'll cut. I'm going to try one more time to get that rivet to tighten up a little more. Believe it or not, I got that thing to tighten right up. I just needed one more try, I guess, but I ain't really caring for how loose the rivet is up here on that tip. Bearing still feels fine. Maybe I should go try one more time just to tighten that up, because watch. And squeeze that in and out, which means if it's spread out, it's going to affect the way it cuts. I'm going to take back everything I said. We've got it all to tighten up, got the grills dressed good. I don't know, that bar may still have some life left in it, guys. But I know Justin, that's a 24, he falls with a 28, so this will more than likely end up the, you know, a 28-inch bar on it. Okay, guys, I've got the bar tip greased. I think the bar will be okay. Like I said, he'll probably go to a 28 on this, but the clutch is just wore slam out. Check that out. And I did grease the bearing, but it don't feel god awful horrible, but I'm willing to bet the dust shield, I can't see it, so I'm not going to guarantee it ain't there. If there's a plastic dust shield, just think like 266, 288, basically. I think it basically just updated that series of saw when they went to the 394, because they use like the same chain adjuster, they use the same crank, same damn bearings, but that little plastic shield that goes behind the rim that goes against the oil pump, I don't think it's there. But we're going to grind the chain, come back and see if we can get this thing busted off and go put it in a piece of wood and see if it's got any other issues. Alright, so when I talked to Justin, said he made like 1 or 2 cuts with this, maybe just 1 cut, and said he just chain cut like crap, said he just couldn't stand to cut with one that way. Well, oh buddy, I believe it. Looking at that bar, which I was surprised we got it straightened up as good as we did. I've ground a lot off of, I guess it would be the right side. That would be the right side of the cutters if you were looking down on the chain. Got it looking pretty damn good, but I believe this thing had been in a grinder, in somebody's grinder that, I don't know, I ain't gonna say didn't know what they were doing, or I don't know. A lot of people take their chains to the local saw shops, and we all know what happens there. They'll let anybody a hold of the grinder, and anyone they've brought in, and you know, they'll take a mile off of your chain, they'll butcher them up. Like I said, I took a lot off of my chain. Usually I don't make an adjustment. I'll adjust this back to where the cutter's sitting about center of it, which may alter things a couple thousandths. It's not much. But yeah, this is barely touching the cutter, which means I've got to loosen here and adjust. And right there we can probably get a profile on the cutter. I'll have to grind a couple and then we'll see, but this thing had to be cutting like garbage. Like the cutters are just all off, and there went our video light. Let me pause you guys and grab another light. There was light. This chain has been blued It is hard as a rock. If he would have tried to put a file in this, it would have just immediately wrecked the file. I don't know that it was that way from grinding or someone pushing on the chain and dogging in. I've seen it all here, but I'd say this was cutting like pure dog shit. And I'm using my Teco grinder, and I'm using what they had called their highest quality stone. It's a Ceridium vitrified. It's supposedly a step above the green wheel, but I see a lot of you guys speak really highly of that green wheel. I doubt it's any better. It usually, a chain that's never been butchered or blued or heated up will cut through it like freaking butter. I'd really like to get this thing to zoom on in. Let me do that. That way I can give you guys a better look at what's going on. Alright, hopefully you guys got a better look at what's going on. If not, I ain't apologizing. It is what it is. Having to take quite a bit to straighten up this mess. And, you know, it'll get better with another grinder too on how fast it would cut, but that'll shave you. It's got a good beak. I think we'll pull some chips with that once everything else is set up good. But I'll bring you guys back when we're ready to check the drags. Okay guys, so I went ahead and set the drags back to Oregon factory spec. And I'm telling you, had to remove a lot. I don't think they had ever been touched, so give you an idea, this one's not really going to touch. This is the one I adjusted from. Okay, we're going to move out one. I just do the whole row. The cutters are right at the same size now. That was a hell of a lot faster than it took me to do it with the file. The brand new steel flat file. Hell of a lot quicker. I'm standing way back from this. Normally I'd be in a chair up on it where I can see what's going on. I set that up to where I have to kind of push down on it, not really hard. I'm not trying to break it off of the wall, but I set the first drag or depth gauge or raker up that way. Then I'll work around the chain, pulling down on it, and when it quits cutting or grinding, I know I'm done. That's kind of a gist of that, how I set up a chain. Hopefully the next thing you guys see is hopefully this thing throwing some chips. Okay guys, so there's where we're at now. The drag's set. I think that'll cut. Alright, let's fire it up. Make sure the tune-up's good. I've not started this thing in probably a week. It don't really need the decomp. That's kind of why we think it might be low on compression. But usually a 394 or a 395 is not that easy to put the choke on. It might start. Alright, I think we're good to go make some cuts. The tune up on it seems pretty good. when I got it here, I backed the low jet out just a little bit, and I just put some fresh mix in it, so she's sounding pretty good, but I mean, that's not bad. I'm thinking once we get it heated up, I might do a compression check on it and let you guys know what it is. Let's hope our chain cuts. I helped it a lot, but it's far from good. Kill switch has a mind of its own. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Well, one thing's for sure. Either the oiler's not oiling good, or it ain't oiling at all, and it's full of bar oil. Okay, and it's got the wrong plug in it. You can see the size of socket I'm having to take. What is that, like a 7/8? I mean, it works, it's fine, but get the scrunch to fit that. I'm going to throw my gauge on it and give her about 10-15 pulls and let you guys know what I come up with. Okay guys, we're on 0 to show you that. I've checked it once. It was not very promising. Not very promising at all, enough where I'm making sure the decomp's pulled out. Make sure everything's good. Just to give it the benefit of the doubt. Yeah guys, she is lazy. I've got that twice. If you can't make that out, it's like 130 psi. It kind of showed that chain is good. That setup cut really good. I was surprised at how well chain done, actually performed really well. I'd say it's good. Seemed to cut okay. I knew it was down on power. I could not lay on it at all. That chain's hungry, but it's not that hungry, and the wood's dense, but it's not like I was sitting it in a piece of hickory or something. Letting it feed itself, if we had good camera footage. Guys, that is what I call a short chain. If I can take my hand off the handlebar and the saw just fall through the wood, I've done a good job on my grind. Is it a race chain? Hell no. Will it hold an edge, and can you cut some wood with it on a few tanks of fuel? Hell yes. Justin, I've talked to him before we do this, and I've got a few other repairs here I need to sort out. And I know he's never in a hurry because he has a lot of other saws, but we don't want to keep it here 6 months either. I had that 2100 here a lot longer than I should have, but you guys know the story on that. If we got to pull the oiler out, may as well put in a fresh crank seal. The bearings in it feel good. We've not checked the flywheel side bearing. We'll check that out. If the piston looks good, it's not doing any death rattles or anything. Probably a fresh cable ring probably a good fresh set of seals in it, and give it the sauce, I guess. And then hopefully the next cut we do with it, we can lean on it a little bit. But anyway, guys, I'll try to throw together some kind of video here. She's definitely down on power. I'm sure if the chain was oiling properly, it doesn't feel completely dry now, so it's probably just a blockage. So to wrap it up, game plan in short, everything I've went over here. Start with this handle, get those, I think just trimming them up, gluing them in, they'll be a-okay. No need for those to ever come back out anyway. Finding them the upper interlock mechanism to go in it, throttle presence lever to be exact, good proper spark plug in it. But then we got to figure out the deal with the oiler. Probably put a set of seals in it. There's no death rattle or anything, so I'm assuming the piston probably looks good. May inspect that before I make an order. Probably seals, a cable ring, address the oiler, proper spark plug, do a Woods port on it. I'll about guarantee you can lean on her then, but right now just worn out and in stock form. I'm going to be that asshole that says it looks a lot stronger than the last ported 394 I seen on YouTube, friends. And with that said, y'all have a good one.